Egghead is officially the target of Buster Call. This means that once again the Straw Hats are the target of Buster Call. They previously experienced this at Enya's lobby. How did the Straw Hats escape Egghead's Buster Call? First, escape to Elbaf. The Straw Hats' next goal should be Elbaf. If they could somehow escape Egghead, they would probably still be hunted by the Marines, especially if, for example, Saturn can be defeated. However, since Elbaf is known as the country with the strongest army in the world, it is possible that even the Navy will not carelessly invade if the Straw Hats enter its waters. Previously, Dory and Broggy had shown the Eustace Kids group what would happen if someone aimed a cannon at their country. Number 2 is to get help from the other parties. The current Straw Hats are actually very strong. If they can take advantage of the advanced weaponry in Egghead, they might be able to fight back against that Buster Call. The only problem is that they are far outnumbered by the invading fleet. But what if there are other parties who can help? The most likely one is the Iron Giant, an ancient robot whose eyes lit up in chapter 1092, but then didn't move again. Maybe he will only move if the sound of Nika's drum from Luffy's heart is heard again. This robot looks strong. If he really rises, he can help deal with Buster Call. Another outside party that might help is the Revolutionary Forces. In chapter 1103, Dragon asks Ivankov where Kuma went. When Ivankov and Dragon conclude Egghead, it will be interesting if they go to the island to help Kuma. Then there is also the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. Do you still remember in chapter 800, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet will later cause a historic incident if they defeated Buster Call, whose fleet outnumbered the regular Buster Calls and took down Saturn. Then that would definitely be a historic incident. What is also a factor is that the situation in Egghead is already known to the world, different from the situation in Wano, which is quite isolated. It could be that the Straw Hat Grand Fleet already knows what happened to Luffy and took the initiative to help. Number 3, Wapol or Sabo revealed Imu's existence in the world. Wapol has the potential to be a time bomb for Gorosei. He actually witnessed the death of Nefertari Cobra. Sabo is also watching, but since Sabo has been slandered as the Cobra Killer, if he reveals about Imu, perhaps no one will believe him. But it's a different story if Wapol is still the current king and quite influential in the world, thanks to Wapo Metal who is speaking. Well, if this information is revealed, it is not impossible that there will be divisions in the Navy, and that caused the Buster Call fleet to lose to focus, give the Straw Hats a chance to escape or even overcome it. Number 4, Grab J. Garcia Saturn. Saturn is one of the Gorosei. What happens if a Gorosei loses in a fight? Well, it could be that the Marines will be increasingly encouraged to attack the Straw Hat pirates. But there could also be chaos, especially if Rob Lucy and Kizaru fall too. Maybe there will be some in the Navy who will decide to evacuate Saturn first rather than continue the Buster Call. Number 5, just defeat Buster Call without the help of other parties. This is a pretty wild possibility. But what if the Straw Hats didn't even need to escape? What if they just beat Buster Call? Well, Luffy could probably beat up Saturn. It's not impossible that Sanji can fight Kizaru as well. Zoro is facing Lucy. Nami with Zeus can be imagined to overcome many people at once. But of course, without help, this will be extraordinarily challenging because the Buster Call fleet this time is bigger than usual. So that's a possible theory for how the Straw Hats escape Egghead's Buster Call. What do you think will happen? Tell us in the comments column.